Hey friends, hello. Hope you are doing good. So I'm here with a new video, and in this video I will show you how a fuel sensor works inside a fuel tank. I mean to say like how it is converting different levels of fuel inside a fuel tank into a digital or an analog output which you are able to view on your indicator like digital display or the analog indicator. So this sensor belongs to Bajaj Avenger, which is obviously a two-wheeler. So let me just explain all the sensor parts to you very quickly. So this is float and this is float arm. That's the resistance wire coil. And this is the sliding contact, the fixing platform and the output wires. So the part which is visible to you is resides inside the fuel tank. And yes, this is the original float, how it looks like. It is made up of plastic which is floating over the oil. I mean in petrol or diesel or whatever. So this is the output point which is further connected to the main control unit of the vehicle. And this is the point from where we are getting the variation in resistance as an output, depending upon the fuel levels in the gas tank or the fuel tank. So here you could see change in level of fuel inside the fuel tank will move the float up or down, due to which the sliding contact will move or change the contact points on the resistance coil. And as a result, we are getting a variation in resistance level. Further, those variation in resistive value is works as an input to main control unit of the vehicle, after which we are getting the indication on the fuel meter or the fuel level indicator. So here I'm trying to focus it properly so that you could have a proper look on the coil. So you can see that's the single coil which is winded on a plastic shaft. So this is the coil, and that coil is not fixed. It is not tightly winded up, due to which the indicator will show a garbage value sometimes. And that's why we need to replace this sensor, because using this sensor for a long time is losing the resistive coil, due to which we are not getting the proper value of the fuel level inside the fuel tank. Okay, you could have a close look on this resistive coil area and the sliding contact point. You could see here the sliding contact point is moving over the coil, and hence we are getting the change in the resistive value. So I will just move the arm. Okay, so now you can see as I'm moving the arm, it is the contact point is also moving over the coil, and it is changing the position, due to which we are getting the variation in resistance. So these are the two wires. One is from one end of the coil and another is from this contact point. Another wire is connected from this contact point. Not exactly with the contact point, but with the contact point slider. So whenever the slider is moving, the length of the resistive wire is getting changed due to that contact point movement. Hence, we are getting different resistive value as an output. So it is working in that manner. So here you can see I'm moving it again. And due to this movement, we are getting the variation in resistance. So let me just show you how the resistance is changing. So I will use a multimeter here to show you the variation in resistance. So here is the multimeter, and first of all I will measure the resistive value of the coil by placing these two probes on each end of the coil. So let me just first set it to the resistance part, and then I will just keep these two probes on the coil. So it is about the complete resistive value of the coil is about 94 or 95 ohm. So this is the complete resistive value of the coil. So it should at least reflect the similar value if we are measuring it at the output, keeping this float in upward direction. So let's try this out. So this is the output and the float is in completely upward direction. So here I am putting the probes inside the plug, and I need to be careful if it is touching the terminals properly or not. And now we should get the complete resistive value. Since it is giving 79 or 80, I guess this movement of float is not proper. Holding it with hand is a bit difficult. So let me just go with another alternative. I will just cut this out. I will just remove this plug. Let me just make this part fast forward to save the time. So here I have fast forwarded this video with the speed of 10x, and just I have taken out these two wires. I will just connect it to the probes directly. I'm just fixing it with the probe. Okay, so it's done. So as you could see, the two output wires are connected to the probes, and right now it is reflecting 73 ohm as an output. Okay, so let me just focus the camera, but I'm unable to focus it properly on both the part like multimeter display and the coil part. So let me just make out some arrangement quickly. I will make this fast forward. Okay, so here it is, and now it is clearly visible. So as of now, you can see it is giving 74 ohm as an output. Let me just move the arm, this floating arm. Let me just take it to the highest one. Since the coil is loosened, that's why it is not giving the proper value. So this coil is accumulated at one place. Let me just rearrange it. So this is what happening with the loose coil. So now you can see it is giving 86 ohm as an output. You can check the multimeter. So actually that coil got accumulated at one place, and that's why it was giving like 74 ohm as an maximum resistive value of the coil. So as soon as you can see, I'm taking the floating arm downwards. The decrement in resistance is clearly visible at multimeter display. And you could see this if the oil level is getting changed inside a fuel tank, the resistive value is also getting changed according to the arm movement. So the arm movement is completely dependent upon the amount of oil present in the fuel tank. And further, this output is processed to the main control unit of the vehicle, and from there it is forwarded to the indicator or the digital display, where you can able to see the fuel level inside your gas tank or the fuel tank. So this is how it works. By the way, I have created a very simple animated video to make you understand this same thing in a better manner. So let's get started. So as you could see, this is the Avenger bike. Let's keep the fuel tank and remove the bike. Let me just highlight the area where fuel is getting stored. So this is the part where fuel is getting stored. So half of the tank is empty every time. So I have just maximized that part, and let's have an internal view here. As you could see, the fuel sensor resides inside the fuel tank in the same manner. And don't be confused with the fixing platform. It will definitely reside outside the fuel tank. So don't worry, I will show you how and where it is getting fixed with the fuel tank. So as of now, you can see the fuel level. This could be considered as full tank fuel. I hope you might be aware with this part that half of the tank or one third of the fuel tank is considered as full tank in case of any vehicle, as air pressure is required to inject or pump the fuel properly inside the combustion chamber. So this is the top view of Avenger bike fuel tank, And if you will move it like slightly to the sideways, you will see this hollow part, and this is the part where the sensor's fixing platform is getting fixed. So you can have a look on the sensor fixing platform. It is outside the tank, and remaining part is inside the tank. So it is fixed with the help of some gasket or rubber washers so that no leakage would be there. So let's have a look on this part, how the level of fuel is getting changed inside the fuel tank. So as you can see, the gradually decrement in the level of fuel is also changing the arm position, and due to which the this slider contact is also changing over the resistive coil. And as I have shown you previously, whenever the slider is moving on the resistive coil, the value of resistance will also change. So similarly, we are getting the result as an output on our indicator or digital display. So this is how it works. So friends, if you are having any doubt related to this video or related to this sensor, or if I have missed something to explain in this video, feel free to comment in the comment section below. And if you are having any ideas in your mind, please do recommend me in the comment box. Your suggestions or recommendations are most welcome, and I will implement those things in my upcoming videos. So please do suggest me something. If you're having anything in your mind, please do share it with me in the comment section below, or you can just DM me on Insta, or you can just message me on Facebook. And in case you are having some doubt which you can't able to explain it in the comment section, then you are mostly welcome to my Insta or my Facebook page. There you can send me a message, or you can send a DM in Insta. I will try my level best to respond you with the solution as soon as possible. So friends, that's it in this video. And if you found this video informative and knowledgeable, so please do like this video, share this video, and subscribe my channel for the latest updates. And do press the bell icon to get quickly notified about my new videos. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.